going on, you guys? It's your boy Alex West Collects here, bringing the most in-depth action figure reviews here on YouTube. And today we're taking a look at the AEW Jazwares Unrivaled Ringside Collectibles exclusive figures. We have Switchblade Jay White, and we have Black Machismo Jay Lethal. These are only available at ringsidecollectibles.com. And you guys sharp to use discount code FORLIFE to save 10% off your order. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited for these exclusives. I feel like they were announced a little bit a while ago. The anticipation has been building, so it's nice to get them here in stock. Again, they are now available and shipping. We figured it'd be nice to do a 2-in-1 review. We're going to start off with Jay White. Take a look at his packaging. You can see the awesome blades here. You can see the figure kind of coming through the packaging. Absolutely love that. You'll see the nice font here in the red. Switchblade Jay White. 6 pieces are included with the AEW logo on the top. On the side, you'll see Switchblade Jay White, AEW logo, the nice image. Same with a nameplate on the other side. On the back, you will have the image of Jay White, Ringside Collectibles exclusive logo here. This box does not open like a flap or anything. This is kind of just how the figure is packaged. Moving on to Jay Lethal. This figure is actually totally open here. Love how nice and clean that looks. Imagine this signed by Jay Lethal in like a red and orange or yellow paint pen. That will look pretty sick. You can see all the accessories that are included. Get the Ring of Honor Championship belt, as well as a bunch of interchangeable hands. You get 2 heads, the soft goods material. I hope this does not stain the figure. That is probably my only concern, but the packaging does look nice. You can see a little bit of Macho Man-esque, of course, with Black Machismo. See, is from All In. Take a look at the side of the box, just a clear, transparent, but I love the little details here with the logos and the image of Jay White. There's actually a figure number here on the side too. Take a look at the other side. On the back, it says All In Black Machismo. I'm a huge Jay White fan, Black Machismo fan. I love him, especially when he was doing those Ric Flair, kind of impressions back in TNA. So it's nice to see he's getting a Black Machismo figure here. But enough chatting. Let's go through these figures one by one and see what they're all about. We're going to start off this review with Jay White. So he does come with a bunch of interchangeable hands. You will get the gun hands for, of course, the Bullet Club, just like Kenny Omega. You also do get one fisted hand and one, I don't know if I would even call this a mic open holding hand, but an open hand. I don't really like how they mix and match hands. I wish we would have either got 2 fists or 2 open hands. Just my personal opinion. That's something Jazwares hasn't gotten right yet. The interchangeable hands that they feature sometimes just don't even really make sense. You also do get these kind of like hang 10 hands here, or whatever you want to call them, but some more gesturing hands. So I do appreciate that they came with a bunch of interchangeable hands. Also, you do get the soft goods leather jacket. It is red. And I'll be honest, when this figure was announced, I was like, I kind of would have preferred him in black attire, but I guess that's going to be a mainline release. I guess it does make more sense to go something a little more colorful, more toyetic, with a Ringside Collectibles exclusive, especially for the premium price. But he does have a soft goods leather jacket. I will say, it looks nice. It just feels a little flimsy to me. I don't know if this would rip. I would be extremely careful. I'm definitely going to be careful removing it off of the figure, but you can see the blade marks on the back. It does say Switchblade Era on there. Looks really good. You will notice the stitching on mine looks, I don't know if it's sloppy or I don't know how it's supposed to look underneath, but you can see kind of like the color underneath the jacket, which is coming through at some parts. That makes me think that maybe this could potentially tear if you are not careful. I would definitely recommend removing those interchangeable hands before you get the jacket off the figure. He also does come with this necklace here with the knife on it, so that looks pretty good. You get 2 interchangeable heads, so you get this kind of straight face skin. I will say the way the beard is painted on here looks a little weird. It's just a little too low from my opinion. But you can see he does come with a screaming head as well. A little bit of a glue mark here, but no crazy like misprinted eyes on mine. Maybe, is it? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. I guess he's kind of looking off to the side here, but you can see the difference in the head likeness. I personally like the head that is on the figure. The screaming skin isn't awful, but again, you can see how the goatee or the beard looks on both. A little bit of fuzz patch too. It looks okay, but like I said, the placement just looks really low as far as it on the head. The hair sculpt does have the ponytail in the back, so that does look really nice. We'll obviously swap that head on there. I do want to take this jacket off figure, but I'm going to be careful, so I'm going to come back before I do that. All right, jacket removed successfully. No issues here. Let's get a look at it off of the figure. No staining from what I'm seeing. There is the white kind of like cloth material underneath, so I don't see any red staining on this figure, which is a nice relief. Moving on, you will see the actual skin tone. For the most part, I will say Jazwares has had hit or miss with their skin tones. Either they look odd or they look like a grayish tone to it. He does look pretty tan, and I do like the skin tone to it. It looks pretty natural compared to some of the other skin tones that we have seen. You will see he does have this crotch piece with the belt with the X's on there. It does have the slashes on his tights too. Nice texturing to these tights as well. You guys can see that design on there. Take a look at the back. See how the belt continues as well as that design. I really do like the look to this. He does have these red knee pads on there with the logos as well. The white boots does say Switchblade on one side. It is plain on the other side. So I really do like the way these look aesthetically. It all looks pretty good. I've always had an issue where the boots look kind of weird, where they're too tall or too big on the front end, but they look pretty proportional here. It does have the white wrist tape as well. One thing I'm noticing, my pins on these arms do not look flush in there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if these pins are just too big. You can see it on this side too. That is the only thing I'm noticing that I'm not liking. That just looks really ugly. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it really does. But figure looks pretty good for the most part. Here's the head sculpt. I do want to swap out the heads. We'll put that screaming skin on here. Hopefully this pops in. You guys have issues with like Jazwares head. Sometimes they pop on really easy. Other times it's just like such a fight that peg just wants to move. Here's that screaming skin. I don't dislike this. I don't dislike either head. I think they have an okay likeness. They're just not quite there 100%. I think the one that comes on the figure looks the best, if you ask my opinion. But that is how the head looks like on this body here. You guys want to go through some quick articulation. The head will fully rotate. The ponytail will get in the way in the back here. Head doesn't really go up too much. Not too much far down. I think that's something wrestling figures can definitely do, is some more articulation as far as the necks and the heads. Arm will fully go around. It does go in and out. There is a bicep cut, double jointed, pinned elbows here. The hands do rotate and hinge as well. You do have this diaphragm joint that moves a little bit. He looks up about that far back, down about that far back. The arm feels pretty good too here. No, just a little waist rotation here. Not like Mattel's really will go fully around, but you do get some movement here. Jazwares does do a great job with the articulation. Legs go out about that much. He kicks up pretty well. There's a thigh cut, double jointed knees here. You do have the boot cut as well. The ankles do go up and down, and they also do rock. So articulation is pretty smooth, no issues. Honestly, with this figure, it does look pretty good. So obviously this is Jay White's first AEW figure, so I do have some former New Japan Bullet Club members. We have the TNT champion Cody Rhodes here from Ringside Collectibles exclusive, one of my favorites still in my collection. We also do have an unmatched Kenny Omega here on the right to see how they stack up. And if you are curious to see what a Mattel Ultimate Edition look like, here is the Ultimate Cody Rhodes next to this brand new Ringside exclusive Jay White. Look at this black Machismo. This is going to be a fun one to go through, but let's take a look at all of the interchangeable hands that are included with black Machismo here. So you get a set, or I guess I wouldn't even call them a set because they're on the same side here. You get two taped hands here. One is kind of like a thumb, kind of pointing to himself, and kind of like the Orange Cassidy thumb is what it looks like to me. He also does have this weird kind of like pointing hand. Like I said, I don't know what he's gesturing, but maybe he's pointing at someone, but those are two hands that are included. The other set are just kind of like the two open hands here. You get one with a hand tape, one without. And you also do get a set of the pointing fingers, which I definitely have been considering displaying with, either like this, kind of doing the Macho Man open arms out, or you got the one where he's pointing with the tongue out. That would look so good with the other interchangeable head. He also does come with these two open hands here. It just looks pretty damn badass, if you ask me. Also get the Ring of Honor Championship belt here, which we have seen before, I believe, in the Jazwares line. Has a nice vac finish to it. Ring of Honor Championship, different plates here. Take a look at the back, but he also does come, of course, with all the soft goods accessories. So I did spend some time here. You will see I ripped off all of this plastic. I did not notice any staining on this figure. It was mainly the arms and the torso. I wish they would just invest in some new fabric instead of investing in plastic bags to wrap my toys in, but it is what it is. This is what we have been getting. So let's take a look at the other interchangeable head, I guess, before we remove all those accessories. Look at that head sculpt, man. Let's just look at the likeness to freaking Black Machismo Jay Lethal here. Love the tongue out head. I will say my eye looks a little wonky. Like, I don't know if there's just a little white, extra white on it, but if I display him, he's definitely going to have the sunglasses on, so that doesn't bother me too much, but I think this came out really badass. If you guys want to look at the other head, we can take a look at this sunglasses and the hat on the figure. So this hat is a little sunken in. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I wish maybe it would have been a little bigger. You can see the strap on there. Just looks a little bit like a flat hat, like somebody sat on it, but it does have the nice kind of orange and yellow to it. I did leave the band on because I don't know if these glasses would hold without it. I always like to say these just in case. I feel like you never know, these plastic ties. But you do get these kind of like Macho Man-esque sunglasses. And they don't really sit well on his ear, if you guys can see how it's high up it's sitting. But I guess you can lower it down. I don't know if that's going to hold. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's why I saved the tie. But here are the two heads, man. They both look pretty badass, man. You got kind of like the gritting, kind of like Macho Man, like screaming head, and the tongue out, man. I love these. Jay Lethal, like I said, just a fun character. He does so many great impressions from Macho Man to Ric Flair, and a phenomenal wrestler on that, on top of it. Just great charisma. But I love both of these. I don't know which one I would display him with, or I'm going to display him with. Both look really good. It does have the bald head. But look at this jacket, man. You'll see it says Macho on it. It does have all these different stars here. I will say I didn't know how I would like the cloth. It's just a lot of cloth on this figure. But actually looks pretty good, pretty cool. It doesn't look like too bulky. I will say I do worry about this jacket tearing at the seams just a little bit because of the material. But look at this, man. It has Machismo down the sleeves. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's the first time I'm noticing it, man. On both sides of the sleeves, it has black Machismo. Ooh, yeah, on the back. This is a really good figure. And, you know, I have a love-hate relationship with the Jazwares figures, especially AEW, and I'll be honest, I've been less interested as of late, but the ringside figures that they come out with, the exclusives, are really fun, man. Look at this. Even the pants, it's got kind of like this Slim Jim-esque Macho Man. You will see the tassels down here at the bottom. I know someone had mentioned in one of my videos that they wish the Warrior or Macho figures would have these fringy tassels. I never liked them on the Jax figures, but something about this just looks really nice, man. It looks like the pants just kind of slide down. There's like an elastic band here. I think they're a little too far down. Maybe they should be higher. I don't know, but I do want to remove all this entrance gear, just like Jay White. I'm going to take my time and take this off camera so I don't tear it, but I think right now we're off to a phenomenal service. It's really fun. And the entrance gear came off no problem. The jacket, I will say, was a lot easier than the pants, but look how great that looks off of the figure, man. Just so badass, so toyetic. Love all of this about it. The pants, like I said, were a little bit of more of a challenge. Not awful, but your best bet is to get these elastic bands and just kind of slide it off. But you will see the different tassels here for the lower part of the legs and the top. But underneath, you will see he does have just kind of these plain black pants with the yellow boots on the figure itself. So here's one quick look at that head sculpt with the gear off. We're going to swap out with this head right now for you guys to see. And I think this is going to look freaking phenomenal, man. Look at that. Look at that likeness. Get him. I already swapped out the hands. We're going to zoom out for you guys. Look at him pointing to the sky, doing that tongue out. That looks so freaking sick. I'm curious to see how this head will look with the glasses. Man, look at that. We're definitely going to have to do a visual with all his entrance gear with this head on. Because like I said, the options are pretty limitless of how you want to display him. I would assume most people are going to display him with the entrance gear on, but that looks pretty freaking sick, man. Really do like how this figure came out. It's been a lot of fun to review for you guys so far, but it does have the kind of like medium-sized torso, and he does have these nice yellow boots. If you guys want to zoom in, look at just kind of the attire itself as a whole. Yellow boots, got the white laces on, the white soles, very Macho Man-esque for AEW here. Let's run through some quick articulation. The head will fully rotate. Goes up about that much. Decent amount down. The arms do go fully around. They do go in and out. You do have the bicep cut, the double jointed pinned arms. I will say the pinned arms on this figure look a lot more seamless than Jay White itself. Too many J's here. Jay Lethal, Jay White, like I have to think about it. But to get the diaphragm joint here, those look up about that much, down about that much. You'll notice, again, this is just kind of standard with AEW figures. The upper torso and the lower torso are going to be slightly of a different skin tone just because of the material. This is a harder plastic, and this is more of a rubbery piece. So I'm going to point that out now before people make a stink in the comments. It is what it is. That's going to be every Jazwares AEW figure. Waist articulation just a little bit. Does do the splits pretty well. Kicks up only about that much. You do have a thigh cut, the double jointed knees. You do have the boot cut as well. The feet do go up and down, and they also do rock. I'm so impressed with this figure. I've had a lot of fun reviewing it. Let's do some comparisons. Let's get right into it. We have some Jay Lethal comparisons. I did throw his entrance gear back on up. Did throw that tongue out head with the finger pointed up. Just looks so awesome. But we do have a AEW unmatched Malachi Black here on the left. He's at like, I think 5'11"-ish. And then we have CM Punk, who's listed at 6'1" here. This is the Supreme figure. I think Jay Lethal's around 5'10", so scaling is about right. Maybe a little too short, but just to give you an idea of how he stacks up versus some other AEW figures. Look at that visual right here. So we do have Black Machismo next to some Mattel Macho Man figures. So on the left, we have the Ultimate Edition from the New Gen Arena. And you can see how Mattel did their tassels or their little frills here versus Jazwares. We also do have my very first Mattel purchase, the figure that got me into this line. We have the Defining Moments WrestleMania 7 Macho Man. Hopefully we do see that Ultimate come out sooner than later. One more Macho Man comparison for you guys. So look at these colorways, kind of similar to Black Machismo. So we have the Slim Jim San Diego Common exclusive Macho Man Elite figure here on the left. We also do have the WCW version of Macho here with the kind of, I guess, similar to what Black Machismo is wearing, what they're inspired off of. But these look great side by side here. I don't even know if this one makes sense to do, but I just loved him and Ric Flair and TNA going back and forth with their promos. So here is kind of a later old man run Mattel basic Ric Flair versus Black Machismo. If you guys have enjoyed this video review, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That really helps my channel grow and allows me to create more great content for you guys. Let me know your thoughts on these two Ringside Collectibles exclusive figures. Will you be looking to add them to your collection? Will you be passing? I want to know all your thoughts and feedback down below. Turn on those notification bells, please, to stay tuned. The newest action figure reviews here on my channel. So I'll be honest with you. My take on these two figures, I think they are phenomenal. I have a love-hate relationship with Jazwares figures. I feel like we've had a lot of issues with QC as far as staining, misprinted faces, loose joints, or, you know, they just have not felt like quality figures for the mainline releases. The last few Ringside Collectibles exclusives have been phenomenal. Like the Blood and Guts series, one of my favorites. The figures are great. The brand new Jeff Jarrett that we got this past summer, one of my favorite figure releases of the year. And I will say the same for these two figures. They feel very solid. The only QC issue I noticed was Jay White's pinned arms, but like I said, we've had so many other concerns that is so minimal. Jay White looks great. You get two interchangeable heads. Personally, I like this head the best. The jacket, I will say, feels a little flimsy, but it looks great on the figure. I really do like the design to it. He even has his like uniquely sculpted tights. Looks badass. The red and white will pop so nicely on your shelf. Everything you possibly could have wanted with your Jay White figure. For Black Machismo, this figure is like, I mean, it's not perfect, but for what we get from Jazwares, I'm going to say it's pretty close to perfect. I love both these head sculpts. I love the jacket. I will say the pants look a little bulky with all the soft goods, but it still looks pretty good. You get the yellow boots underneath. You can have like a 2-in-1. If you don't like those boots, maybe you could swap them out, kind of give them like some more basic white or black boots. But you do get the black tights underneath. So if you want something a little more basic, to have them in like ring gear. But the entrance gear looks so good. You get all these interchangeable hands. The figure is fun. And like I said, these may be a little niche. Not everyone's a huge AEW fan or watches Ring of Honor or even TNA from back in the day. That's really why I got my first look at Jay Lethal. But these figures are really fun. I can't recommend them enough if you're an AEW fan or you're just a wrestling figure fan. These will blow you away when you have them in your hands. They are fun. So if you are interested in grabbing them, they are now shipping from ringsidecollectibles.com. That is the only place you're going to be able to get them. They are exclusive to Ringside. When you shop, use promo code 4LIFE to save 10% off your order. Before you go, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at AlexWestCollects. Thank you again for tuning in and all your continued support. I'll catch you all in the next video review.